To Red Devil 2017 again. It's just currently Charlie speaking here. Yes, big breaking news now to update you guys on this is regarding Mesut Ozil now for Arsenal. Now, apparently the press are now reporting that Ozil has come out and basically suggested that he has told his current teammates he will join Manchester United in the transfer window. Now, this is in a couple of media outlets. It's reportedly said that Ozil has told his teammates that he will join Manchester United because obviously he's refused to sign a new deal with Arsenal. He's coming to an end of his deal and he has been linked with a move, to be fair to Manchester United, in the last couple of weeks, after it had confirmed basically that between Arsenal, the player and his representatives that the contract talks had currently stalled. They were nowhere near close to agreeing a new deal for Mesut Ozil. The player that could end up now reuniting with Jose Mourinho. I think Arsenal are now waiting and they are prepared to cash in on Mesut Ozil in January. But apparently he said he will join Manchester United. Man United have been interested. Mourinho classifies him as a very good number 10. We have got good number 10s in our squad. We've got Mata there. We've got Mkhitaryan who can play in that number 10 as well. But as I said, he was demanding a higher wage. I think he was demanding over £300,000. No team were preparing to pay that. But I think Inter Milan have also been monitoring the player as well. They've been interested in the player. But now it's down to us if we are going to make a full-on approach, how much we're going to be offering, if we are considering getting the player at Old Trafford. But apparently he has told his teammates he will join Man United. It's in the sun, it's in the mirror, as I said. He's been at Arsenal now for I think this is his fifth season in the process. As I said, he's made over a century appearances. Second, it was Arsenal's second most expensive signing. Arsenal paid £42.5 million for him from Real Madrid, the highest paid fee for a German player, and also made over a century appearances with Real Madrid. He bonded fantastically well with Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid as well, Ozil. But I do like him. He's good at creating chances. As I said, he's very good at providing assists. Also, was in Bundesliga for 5 years. He was with the likes of Schalke. He was with Werder Bremen as well. So we know, obviously, he's coming to an end of his contract, he's Ozil. And Arsenal, in the last at least couple of days, have been trying to get rid of the player because I think they've accepted in reality he's not going to be signing a new deal. He's not satisfied with Arsenal Football Club. And as I said, if he goes to another team such as Man United or he goes to a big club, he's going to be winning trophies, he's going to be challenging at the top. And with Arsenal Football Club, Ozil is not going to be doing this. So could Ozil essentially be our next midfielder? Because I think Manchester United have got a very good midfield. We've got injuries in our squad to your likes of Fellaini, that's done well this season for us. Pogba, our most central creative midfielder, is injured unfortunately. We've got a lot of injuries, and we suffered a lot of injuries last season. But in that midfield, I think Jose Mourinho's still looking for another midfielder at least. Anyway, obviously for a long-term replacement for Michael Carrick, because he could actually retire at the end of this season. He has been at Manchester United 13 years, as I said, won every single domestic cup, as I said, and he's made over 3 century appearances now as Michael Carrick in the process. I presume he could retire at the end of this season. Could Michael Carrick? Man United still, Bailey out now. Rashford suffered a knee injury in the Benfica game. Don't think it's too severe though. Luke Shaw still undergoing his rehabilitation. Hasn't participated much at that left back position. Mourinho's still looking at quite a few left backs as well in the process. Rojo could be back in a few weeks as well for Manchester United. To consider, we've got them injuries. We are doing very well. We have got quite a few players out, and it's good to go to Benfica away, get a fantastic result, 1-0, and get a clean sheet as well. Considering the amount of players that we did have out injured, but midfield could also be possibly our next midfield. For what he's come out with, what he's clarified, he said he does want to join Manchester United. Does Mesut Ozil in the process. For me, some people wouldn't like him at Manchester United, some people would like him at Manchester United, but I do not really know. But apparently he's told his teammates he wants to join for Manchester United, and I think, Arsenal in the window, as I said, generated a lot of money. But for me, I think they should have at least sanctioned one of them off. They should have at least sanctioned either Ozil or Sanchez off and raised some money. But obviously, if you can't get them replacements, then you can't currently sanction them off. But As I was saying with the Sanchez situation, Sanchez is another player that I think could go in January as well. Both of them, I presume could go in January, and Arsenal will gain quite a bit of money. Um, but I think City are prepared to pay £20 million for Alexis Sanchez. We know quite a lot of teams have been interested in Alexis Sanchez's signature, recent ranks from Denise. I think City emerged front runners because, it was fantastic. With Pep Guardiola at Barcelona was Sanchez. Arsenal paid £35 million for him. And he's another player that wants to elevate at a higher level, win trophies and stuff. And as I said, he's not going to do this with Arsenal Football Club. He said he wanted Champions League football. And he basically, made it clear, especially in August, that he didn't want to be at Arsenal Football Club. He wants to win trophies, he wants to elevate to a higher level. And this is what Sanchez had explained in the situation. He's made over 10 appearances now for Arsenal Football Club. He's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons. Just basically like Ozil as Alexis Sanchez. As I said, he was demanding a higher wage. Arsenal didn't pay it off, and numerous teams have actually been interested in Alexis Sanchez. City nearly got a deal over the line for him in the window. They could have cashed in £50-60 million, Arsenal, but obviously they couldn't find that replacement there in the process. And I think Arsenal may, when these players go, I think they may revive the interest in Lamar in January. Arsenal have had Mahrez on their radar as well, so they're going to have to think about plans for the January transfer window. But as I was saying about the Lamar situation, I think Arsenal could, when Sanchez does leave in January, which I think he's definitely gonna, I think City are going to get a 20 million deal over the line for him especially. I think Arsenal still, may revive the interest in Thomas Lamar. Arsenal in the process in the window had 2 bids rejected for Thomas Lamar in the process. Lamar's good dribbler, his passing ability is very, very good. He's very, very good for France. He made his senior debut for France in 2016, did Thomas Lamar. Liverpool also coming in the equation towards the end of the window. They had 2 bids rejected for Lamar, but I think Monaco were reluctant and were resisted to offload him at the moment in time due to, they lost a lot of the good players. They had a fantastic season last season, but they generated nearly £300 million in sales, did Monaco. But the president come out and did say he could be available next summer, could Thomas Lamar. In the process, the ex-champ player made 32 appearances for them. And I think he's been at Monaco about 3 seasons as a player. We know Arsenal put a staggering £92 million in the end of the window for him as well. But Arsenal didn't get the pursuit of the player. We know Arsenal, but we're also interested in Riyad Mahrez. He's reportedly said, Tottenham have been interested in Mahrez as well from Arsenal Football Club. It says, let me just put my phone on charge. It said Mahrez, Arsenal were interested in Riyad Mahrez. Obviously, I think Tottenham have been interested in Mahrez as well. Mahrez, as I said, very, very good. Won the Premier League with Leicester, as I said. Won the Championship with Leicester. He's won PFA, Algerian Football of the Year. Made the international debut for Algeria back in 2014. Ex-Lee Harvey player, also played in the reserve team for the Lee Harvey as well. I think he's made 111 appearances in the Premier League for Leicester, scored 28 goals. As Riyad Mahrez, but his passing ability is very, very good. Where he operates space, very, very good. He's good, skillful, very distinctive in his play, and Arsenal have also been linked with him as well. So Arsenal have had quite a few replacements. They've obviously showed their interest in Draxler as well from PSG. So I think these targets that Arsenal were interested in the August window, I think they may get one of them maybe in the January window for replacement for Sanchez, and if Ozil was to go as well. But I think if Arsenal come in with a big offer for Lamar in January, that could send Lamar away from Monaco in the process, guys. But yes, as I updated you earlier on about Antonio Martial, now apparently that Barcelona have been watching Antonio Martial. It's reportedly said that Barcelona have been interested in him as well. Arsenal have actually been interested in Martial as well as a replacement for Sanchez because they think he'd be a good idea replacement. But yeah, as I was saying about Martial, it says obviously it did report the other day that Barcelona had been, scouting Harry Kane and Eriksen. Harry Kane's obviously Real Madrid target as well. But they scouted Eriksen at Barcelona, and apparently now in the Benfica game, the Barcelona director had scouted Antonio Martial and was watching him very, very carefully as well. As said, when he's at his best, he's one of the best, young age talents in world football. Fantastic young age prospect, Antonio Martial. And Jose Mourinho is not willing to offload the player. As I said, Martial, ex-Lyon player, that's where he started his professional career with Lyon, went to Monaco, went there a couple of seasons with Monaco. Paid just £6 million for him. He was there a couple of seasons, so they did gain quite a bit of a profit for Martial, and we did pay initial £36 million, which could be raised to £57 million, but that was the highest paid fee for a young player as well. But look how he has currently turned out as Antonio Martial. He's done absolutely fantastic for us. He's doing well this season, 5 goals in all competitions. He scored in his debut for Man United, which was good to see as well. He's won like Player of the Month. He's won Golden Boy Award as well. And he's very, very good on that left-hand side. I think him and Rashford, are doing very, very well on the left, especially this season. But this is Martial's 3rd season in the process. He's still young. Mourinho want to keep him, just like Rashford. As I said, they've won likes of EFL Cup with us. They've won the likes of the EFL Cup, the Europa League, the Charity Shield with us, the FA Cup with us. And hopefully in time to come they'll win the Premier League and Champions League. And that could be this season, believe it or not. But apparently Barcelona have been scouting Antonio Martial. But apparently it's saying Barcelona are scouting Christian Eriksen and Harry Kane as well, and that had confirmed when Real Madrid had played at Tottenham as well in the process. It had said about the being scouting Eriksen as well. Eriksen is a Tottenham midfielder. I think this is his 5th season now in the process with Tottenham. As I said, he's an attacking midfielder. He's an ex-Ajax player. I think he was there quite a few years. Tottenham had bought him for just over £11 million back in 2013. This is now his 5th season in the process with Tottenham. He's won Tottenham Player of the Year award. He won quite a few titles during his time with Ajax as well. Christian Eriksen, he's won the likes of Danish Football of the Year as well. I think he's made about 142 appearances for Tottenham and scored 34 goals as Christian Eriksen in the process. But does look a very, very good player. But apparently Barcelona have been keeping an eye out on him as well. He made his international debut in 2010 as well, did Christian Eriksen. But obviously Barcelona were actually watching out on Harry Kane as well. And as I said, whatever team goes for him, and when you've got a really good player like that, in the Premier League, there's always going to be heavyweight teams, big teams that are going to be after him. And we know Barcelona have been watching him. Don't know if they're going to go for him, but they have been watching the player. And also Real Madrid are interested in him as well. I think it's presumed, Real Madrid's transfer target is Harry Kane, but apparently the press reported today that they could use Marcus Rashford as a plan B. For me, they've no chance of probably getting any of them unless maybe Real Madrid were willing to maybe say, we'll give you Bale, Tottenham, and we can have Harry Kane to Real Madrid. That's maybe the only reason. Or maybe if Real Madrid were willing to maybe offer 1 or 2 players. You just don't know, do you? But Harry Kane, as I said, a cash-only deal. He's not going to be cheap. He's going to be worth more than Neymar. He's going to be worth way more than £196 million. Is Harry Kane. I think he's worth more than Neymar at the moment. Even though Neymar's in the top 5, I think he's still one of the best in the world, Neymar. PSG have made the headlines at the moment, with the amount of money they've invested. But for me, Kane's worth a lot of money. As I said, he hasn't ruled a Tottenham exit out. As I said, he's a fantastic Premier League striker. Is Harry Kane. As I said, won the Golden Boot last couple of years. He's made over a century appearances now for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. No, sorry, he's scored over a century of goals. He's not far from scoring a century of goals now in the Premier League. I think he's only about 16 goals away. Is Harry Kane in the process of that. in 3 years, Kane has just been absolutely fantastic. Got the Player of the Month in September as well. Um, but he's been fantastic in 3 years as Harry Kane for Tottenham. You know, every time he plays, he scores, he scores, he scores. His finishing products is very, very good. His aerial threat, he's very, very good at being an aerial threat as well. Is Harry Kane, and you know it will cost Real Madrid a lot of money. And we know Real Madrid have done business with Spurs in the past. You know, Real Madrid had to put 85 million to get Bale from Tottenham as well. I can't remember how much they paid for Modric, but we've seen, you know, Real Madrid are a team that do spend big, as we have seen it. You know, they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't. You know, they did get a few players in August, but they missed out on, you know, on quite a few targets that they didn't get in. But Real Madrid are usually a big spending club. You know, they did it with Ronaldo back 2009, paid 80 million for him. They did it with Bale in 2013, and you know it happens, and now it's Paris Saint-Germain's turn. You know, they're the ones that had spent the big massive dough in this in the August window on players as well. But as I was saying, Kane has not ruled a Tottenham exit out whatsoever. But Ronaldo did clarify he would not basically like to see Kane come in. But they could use Marcus Rashford as a plan B, as I said. Same with Martial. Man United are not going to will to do any business. We're not going to will to offload Rashford. You know, he's been playing football, you know, since he was age 7. And it's not going to happen. And look at his record. His record is absolutely sublime. He's Marcus Rashford. You know, he scored on every single debut, apart from the FA Cup, obviously, Europa League, Premier League. Twice in the Premier League, scored on his debut twice in the league, Europa League, Champions League, League Cup. Also on his international debut for England in 2016 as well. So yeah, and he's also very, very generous on that left-hand side. Is Marcus Rashford. He's become an absolutely fantastic young age prospect, risen up the ranks fantastically well with the Youth United Academy. And look how he's turned out now as Marcus Rashford. Look, it's good to have two young age prospects, you know, that can trend, you know, that can play on the left-hand side. You know, very, very good to see two young age talents in our squad. But anyway, I said, even though he's young, as I said, you know, even though he's young, if you want to come for sale, he will not come cheap in the process. But Man United obviously are not going to sanction Marcus Rashford off in the process. But yeah, as I said, Barcelona were actually watching Christian Eriksen, but that might be an alternative in the midfield because obviously Barcelona, you know, are still convinced they can get a deal done for Coutinho in January because obviously, you know, that was their main priority target during the August window. But Liverpool obviously were not prepared to do any business with Barcelona. This is why Barcelona didn't get a deal over the line. Liverpool turned 3 bids down from Barcelona, 72, 89, £114 million bid. There had been discussions between the two clubs, but no one could get a deal over the line. But Coutinho, he's an absolutely fantastic, competitive, tenacious midfielder. Become one of the best in world football as a Philip Coutinho as a midfielder. He can play in the middle, as I said. He can play on the left, can Philip Coutinho as well. But ex-Inter Milan player, ex-Espanyol player, and I think this is his 5th season in the process now with a Liverpool Football Club. He's made over a century of appearances. Sorry guys, I am tired. He's hit over a century of appearances, as I said, for the club. Scored quite a lot of goals for the club as well. But he's a very good, agile, very distinctive, very aggressive. He's got penetration. You know, he dictates the play sometimes well, does Coutinho. But we know he missed starts. Well, he missed the early part of the season due to a back injury, did Philip Coutinho. But I think Barcelona may go for him in January. But obviously, if they don't get in Barcelona, they may have other plans in order to maybe go for Eriksen. They may even think about maybe going for Kane. You just don't know. You just don't know. But also, you know, Van Dijk, as I mentioned to you the other week, was also a Liverpool target as well. And it actually quoted out the other week that Barcelona had been scouting Virgil van Dijk as well. That's another player that Barcelona I think had been scouting the other day. That had been reported that Barcelona were keeping a close eye out on Van Dijk as well. Van Dijk, as I said, that was Liverpool one of Liverpool's main priority targets during the August window. obviously, um, Southampton were not willing to do any business at all with Liverpool. This is why he didn't go, and they were not willing to offload the player were Southampton, but they would have raised, Southampton would have raised, quite a bit of money for this. They'd have profited from it because Southampton, this is only his third season in the process with Southampton. We know he's just recently come back from long-term injury, but they only paid £13 million for him from Celtic. Then that Southampton could have easily got a good £60-70 million for him if they did offload the player. But as I said, he signed a 6-year deal back in May 2016 with Virgil van Dijk. He's an ex-Celtic player, won the Scottish Premiership with Celtic, won the Scottish League Cup with Celtic as well. And this is his third season in the process with Southampton, and made his debut against West Brom and scored his first goal against Swansea for Southampton, did Virgil van Dijk. But as I said, Liverpool need to address their defensive area. That is the key part, because defensively Liverpool are woeful and awful. I still think they need a prolific goal scorer. I think Liverpool's finishing needs to improve. But yeah, it did say also Barcelona was scouting him the other day. Now it's saying Barcelona have been scouting Eriksen Kane. Now it's saying Barcelona have been scouting Martial. So they have been scouting quite a few players reportedly in the last 3 or 4 days or so of Barcelona in the process. But the big main part about this is Mesut Ozil in the process. He apparently now, as I did confirm, he's told his teammates that he will join Man United. I think Arsenal are convinced they can cash in for him now in January, because obviously in reality Arsenal wouldn't want to lose him, but obviously he wants to elevate to a higher level, play amongst better players, win trophies, and plus he's not going to be signing a new deal. And I think Arsenal, in the reality, accepted that situation. Jose Mourinho could end up reuniting with Mesut Ozil in the process, because I think Ozil will do very, very well for us. He's a good number 10, but we've got 2 good number 10s in the squad. We've got Mkhitaryan, who can score goals for assists. We've got Juan Mata, who's very, very consistent as well, who can play in the number 10. Because they're both, Mkhitaryan can play on the right, Mata can play on the right, as I said. But they both can play in the number 10 role as well. But it's interesting to see how Ozil would fit in the Manchester United team if he did end up coming to United. So it's going to be interesting to see. United have not made a full-on approach for him, but it's going to be interesting to see how United react to what as Mesut Ozil has come out with and what he's told his teammates. He wants to join Manchester United, so we'll see what happens in the process with that. As I did update you guys earlier on as well about Gareth Bale, he could be on the way. He could be on a move back to Tottenham, could Gareth Bale reportedly. Dan Bollon, the Spanish publication, had actually come out and suggested that obviously Real Madrid do want to offload the player, because obviously Real Madrid are beginning to lose the patience, with his current injuries, the injuries that he's suffered, since he's been at Real Madrid as Gareth Bale. But Dan Bollon, the Spanish publication, is saying that Gareth Bale will actually turn down us and Chelsea, because obviously Man United, were heavily linked to him during the summer. Chelsea had made an interest in him as well, but apparently he said he would turn down Man United and Chelsea. And Dan Bollon had reported he would prefer the move to Tottenham Hotspur as well. Obviously, he's fought his surplus to requirements. As I said, Marco Arsenio's full in his spot. He scores full in his spot. He's Gareth Bale, and plus his injury problems that he's been having as well. So the Real Madrid board have been under pressure to get rid of him. Plus the reception he's getting from the crowd a lot is not very, very good as well as Gareth Bale. So he could possibly return back to the Premier League, because he's been at Madrid 5 years. He used to play for Tottenham. He was at Tottenham 6 years. Was Gareth Bale, but as I said, I've seen teams go back to the old teams even after years. We saw it with Rooney. We've seen it with Henry when he used to play. We've seen it with Diego Costa as well, but he can't play for Atletico Madrid till January, of course, in the process. But I think Gareth Bale could make the move. He may not make the move. I do not know. But due to his injury, he's got another injury now as Bale. He's got a calf injury. As I said, Real Madrid, he's won 10 honours. He's won 3 Champions League in 4 seasons. And he does play well. But, you know, when he does play well when he plays Bale. He's a good crosser of the ball. His physical attributes are very, very good. Premier League proven. Got good experience in the Premier League as well. Because he has experienced the Premier League. Gareth Bale. In the current process, he has experienced the Premier League, and it did say Real Madrid will be prepared to offload him. But basically, what Real Madrid have said, they're looking to generate the funds basically that they initially paid for him from Tottenham back in 2013. As well, for Tottenham, he made 146 appearances, scored 42 goals for them. You know, he's won quite a few stuff himself as Gareth Bale, as I said, PFA, Football of the Year, Premier League Player of the Season, as I said. And with Real Madrid, what would I say? And, you know, Real Madrid, very, very good, but just injury prone. And this is what's happening. And with the Bale situation, Mourinho may still go for him next summer, but now could he go to Tottenham? As I said, will basically... could Tottenham afford him? Will Tottenham maybe will to take the risk? Maybe will to offload one of their players as part of the deal? Because Real Madrid may even recommend maybe Kane as part of the deal for Bale, or maybe, you know, another Tottenham player maybe as part of the deal, or it may just be a cash only deal. But I think Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid will demand, if Tottenham were to go in for the pursuit, actually make an approach and go back for him. It would. I think Real Madrid would recommend maybe about £89 million for him as well. Very, very good for Wales. Second top goal scorer for Wales, as I said. Welsh Football of the Year record 6 times for Gareth Bale, and over 60 caps. So, yeah. He could well go next summer. And it come out the other week, he could well go next summer. Could still come to United, possibly. But apparently he's saying he would. Man United is still in it, as we know, but I think he has suggested that he would prefer the move to Tottenham Hotspur, would Gareth Bale. And then we know, so yeah, really guys, that's about it. But the main story, you know, is about Mesut Ozil. So could he be Manchester United's next attacking midfielder, for what has come out and suggested? So anyway, guys, that's everything today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. Subscribe to the channel as always, and take it easy, guys. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.